You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
We're here in the little seacoast town of Anota Bay in the parish of St. Mary for the Ministry of Tourism's official opening of Markingstone Beach. Business Access TV brings you highlights from Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett and other stakeholders. Stay with us.
We have recognized, and the Minister has instructed us to ensure that we are rehabilitating and developing beaches across Jamaica to ensure that there are enough public beaches for our people to, I know sometimes they call us dryland tourists, but for us to enjoy the benefits of this beautiful country. Today is a continuation of openings of various tourism developments across St. Mary, and the minister and his entourage have been just coming from Rio Nuevo village, which is quite impressive, and I overheard the minister saying how impressed he was with it. And so it's a message to St. Mary to say, listen, tourism recognizes you and we are here facilitating the development. Now, tourism is one of those industries where it requires partnerships. And so no matter how much we do from the ministry, it requires partnerships with stakeholders, partnerships with municipalities, partnerships with the people to ensure that the standards are maintained and are as high as possible. And we build on the legacy that we have here in Jamaica as one of the best destinations in the world.
Well, this transformation here at Markingstone is one of many that we're doing across the island. You see, tourism is changing quite a bit with the advent of technology that opens up an opportunity for the average Jamaican to actually benefit from tourism. It's not only a case where they need to work inside a hotel or to supply a hotel, they can also benefit from renting out their space. Because Jamaica, thankfully, we've been blessed where anywhere you go in Jamaica, you can find a beach or a river or a waterfall or a mountain. You can have some great experience, and with the natural weather and our natural hospitable culture and so on, we end up pretty much having an industry, a resource that's available to every Jamaican to become a tourism entrepreneur. So how that is enhanced is if all the beaches that are dotted across the island are then developed, so that restroom facilities are in place, so one, the environment is protected, but we demonstrate respect and provide that convenience to anybody who uses the beach, and so on. So, seating areas, parking spaces, security, lifeguards, and so on. And that's what we've done here, and we are doing across Jamaica to open up Jamaica more. It's not only on the north coast, or it's all over Jamaica. We want to make it a case where tourists and the diaspora and Jamaicans are enjoying what we've been blessed with naturally. So that is the purpose of investing in beaches like the Markingstone Beach and getting the result that we have today.
I have visited this facility. I passed by here just the other day before the work was complete, but on entering the gate I was wondering, am I really at Markingstone Beach? And that is a testimony to the work that has been done here. I noticed I saw some persons out there enjoying the facility already, so it is a good sign. We are eternally grateful to the Tourism Enhancement Fund for spending, I won't mention the figure, maybe the minister will do that later, but significant funds on this facility. And as I said, it looks like a first-class beach. Those of us who know Markingstone before would understand why I am so excited based on what I have seen. The St. Mary Municipal Corporation has owned this facility for a long time. Although, Minister, this is one of the properties that is everybody knows belongs to the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. However, it is in the name of Commissioner of Lands. We have interviewed interested parties in terms of leasing this facility because we don't have the capability to run such a facility. So we have interviewed persons, we have sent to the Ministry of Local Government for them to approve so that we can have somebody run the facility and run it properly as to how it should be.
What does growth in tourism mean for Onoto Bay?
Well, it means a lot in that we will be bringing more tourists here, then we'll provide more jobs and more opportunities for our locals. So it is indeed important to us. This facility that has been renovated, we hope, based on the individual who will run it, we hope it will be run in a way that we will actually get tourists here as well as locals. But apart from this facility alone, we are looking at other heritage tourism developments throughout the parish, and we took the minister on a tour of an area in Portmore, a very historic area, where we are trying to do a tour of that area. So we have formed a committee and we are looking into getting some funding from the Tourism Enhancement Fund to make that tour a reality.
The corporation has authority to manage the beach. How will the upkeep be guided?
The upkeep will be guided by statuses under the Local Governance Act and also our act in relation to our Building Act, the Town and Country Planning Act. We use all of those because as a local building authority, local planning authority, we also work along with other state agencies to manage our beaches, to manage our public spaces. So not only us will be responsible for the management of the beach, but we will also be using guidelines from other state agencies. We'll ensure that the park has the requisite number of lifeguards, has the requisite safety facilities in place, for example, your backboards, your first aid kits, as I said, your lifeguards. As you can see, the lifeguard stands are already here. So we are ensuring that the safety of the members, not only of the workers, but of the general public, are taken into consideration, the security of the site in itself. We're going to ensure that the beach and itself will be developed into a recreational space, a park, so that the locals for not only Onoto Bay but the greater St. Mary will also be served and our visitors to this country.
What other important purpose does this transformation serve for the people of Onoto Bay?
It serves a very important purpose because it is an active open space. It's somewhere that you'll need for relaxation and rejuvenation because you work in a very stressful environment no matter where it is, and you are going to need a space where you can relax, you can congregate with your family, with your friends. So this is a facility that is needed for any community to fully develop an active open space area. This, I believe, is one of the premier sites in this area. It is not only going to be used as a beach park in itself, it's one of the areas that is going to be used, for example, like for your parties, because it is a little outside of the town, so you won't have that congestion in the town itself. So it will be used for that sort of facilities. It is well-needed facility, and we will endeavor to not only maintain as it is right now, but we'll also be developing for other facilities within this area.
We're gonna go for a break, but when we return, more from the Marking Stone Beach in Onoto Bay, St. Mary.
Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
I'm Stephen Price. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
And we're back. Thanks for staying with us for the coverage of the opening of the Marking Stone Beach held in Annotto Bay, St. Mary. Here's more.
You know, it also gives me great pride and a pleasure to be here today. And why this is so, I was whispering in the ears of the minister that this beach here has a special place in my heart as well. I can't tell you why. I mean, I've told him why, and I told Bob also. I can't tell nobody else. But when I was a little boy, I used to come to this beach regularly, and then when I became a young man, I used to come to this beach, but not just in the days, but in the nights as well. So you can understand what I'm talking about, right? Oh, yeah. But what is so pleasing is for the facility to be brought up to this level. And when I toured along with the minister, especially in the bathrooms, this is not just a hurry come up bathroom. This is a bathroom that can rival any facility in the world. I mean, the bathroom is well put together. And Bob, this is something that I hope, I may have mentioned it before, and I guess all the speakers will mention it, that building these properties is one thing, but to maintain them is the other thing. We want to know that when you come to facilities, you feel good that you're in the right place, not just somewhere that you just have to use. And this is a country, we're building a country based on excellence. Marking Stone Beach is also a manifestation of the quality development, and I know that Bob, with his expertise, when we come back here, Minister, this lawns will be pristine with green grass and flowering plants all around. And I was mentioning to the councillor earlier about the almond trees. You know, when these grow and become good shades across these seats, it will be a sight to behold. And that's what we want. We want facilities that we not only build, but we are proud to call our own, because we're building this new Jamaica. And before I come down, I want to again say special thanks to the minister. This is one minister, when you ask him about projects that means Jamaica well, he never says no. And I remember just coming into politics, and I asked him about several developments across Southeast St. Mary. And I'm proud to say that he has responded so well, and the people of Southeast is very thankful to you, sir. And look for your continued showering us with your blessings.
We welcome this particular development, as with most developments that are taking place across Jamaica. But this development is special for me in a number of ways. As a member of parliament for this area, I mean, the development is welcome, but more importantly, I was born here, and this was one of my beaches that I used to visit when I was a little boy. And you know, I grew to love and appreciate this particular area. As you can see, it's very idyllic. It's away from the hustle and bustle, and it is very suitable for a day of full relaxation and fun. So we welcome it.
What does this transformation mean to you?
No, it means a lot because what is happening and what has happened to a number of small communities across Jamaica, sometimes the development doesn't pass through or is not evident in those areas. So having something like this now shows that development can come to the local areas, and therefore it's important for us to appreciate this sort of development. And not only that, it might be a catalyst for other developments that will take place in a particular area. As you can see, it sits on the corridor, a major thoroughfare through this constituency.
How will you ensure sustainable management of this here beach?
Well, one of the things which we are very big on is not just the development of these facilities, but the maintenance of these facilities. And what has happened so far, which is quite remarkable, we have had a number of persons, I get to understand, that were interested in this facility, and they've selected one such individual now who is from the area as well. So this is somebody from the area who not only has a business interest but has a personal connection to it. So the facility is for us in Onoto Bay. I'd like to say thank you very much to the Minister, to TEF, and all the persons who have participated in this, to the Municipal Corporation, the Mayor, and the Councillor of this particular division, which is the Onoto Bay division, for their work in getting the facility to what it is. And we are happy for it, and I'm sure going forward, the persons who will use the facility will also find that it is a welcome addition to what we have. There are a number of other things which are going to come about in Southeast St. Mary that I'd like to say will happen in a very short time. We're getting a number of things done finally in Southeast St. Mary because we believe that we can take our pride and rightful place in this development and this Jamaica that we are creating.
I'm therefore pleased to be here today to hand over an upgraded Marking Stone beach to complement your offerings. The beach was upgraded by the Tourism Enhancement Fund at a cost of $38.3 million as part of its National Beach Development Program. And I want to make the point that sometimes comments are made in advance of action known to begin. And the actions, when they follow, gives an impression as though they are being driven by another direction. But these series of beaches that we are going to be opening and handing over between now and the end of the year makes the story and tells the tale very well that this represents work done, activities in train, and now work completed and ready to be handed over. So we have done the upgrading here, not on the basis of providing a beach facility, but on the basis of providing a complete entertainment facility and an attraction in its own right. And when you look at what is done here, and you see that we have constructed a guardhouse, 3 gazebos, well-appointed restrooms, and I want you to take note of that. When you finish, go and look in those restrooms. And that's what we're talking about, because it makes no sense to have a wonderful beach and a beautiful facility, nice eating areas, and then afterwards you go to another place. We want you to go to a place equally appointed and well prepared and fit for purpose. We have parking facilities as well as landscaping work, among other significant improvements that you will see. We recognize that beaches are a great resource of tourism. In fact, our scenic beaches attract a large number of domestic and inbound tourists. This is why we have ensured that the TEF has committed to transform one beach in every parish to a quality recreational space. And remember the point I'm making, not to have a nice beach, but a quality recreational space. And it must operate at the highest and best international standards for a country such as ours. And it must be available to residents and visitors alike. So to date, we have spent $104 million for 3 beaches in the overall beach program. And the next one we will open properly is going to be licensed, where we spent $49 million to upgrade. And then we're going to do Boston Beach, and we're going to do Winifred Beach, and we are going to do other beaches in the West, because the West has to be touched too, and we are going to be doing beaches along the South Coast as well. Those of us who have leadership in the political arena have a duty to guide and to lead and to enlighten and to ensure that that higher level of presentation is always kept in sight, and not to be part of any process that will help to lead people to be left out of the mainstream of development because our facilities are substandard. And as minister, I'm committed to that process. And this ministry will continue through the efforts of the TEF to upgrade and continue to enhance the quality of the Jamaican product, and to ensure that our ordinary Jamaican entrepreneurs, our little man, as we call it, have a nice, decent place to peddle their wares, where they can wash their hands and have proper conveniences, and they can feel and move around with air and space. And the visitors who come can also leave with a good impression and say when they leave Jamaica, what a wonderful little country that I have been. It was a joy to go to the markets in Jamaica. But we know that change is never a linear process, and that change sometimes requires a little bit of hand-holding. And we know that change sometimes causes a little bit of disruption. And sometimes we don't understand it, and when we don't understand it, we become suspicious of it. So we are going to work with our partners, and we're going to make sure that we hold hands and do it right, and do it together, and do the transformation from poverty to prosperity.
We pride ourselves in being a destination of sand, sea, and sun. And so we bring the world here for a beach experience as well. So it's a big part of the product in Jamaica. But we are careful to note that it represents a huge part of our resources that are being consumed by our people, and that the access represents an important route to ensuring that there's harmony between visitors and locals. So we have moved with energy and haste to prepare and fix local beaches that are appropriate and adequate and appointed for the purpose, so that our people will not be left out and we will feel less catered to because the beaches are not up to the standards.
How does this help or harm locals in the tourism sector?
We are now looking at management to ensure that there is good management here, so that the maintenance of these facilities can be secured and the further upgrading of what we have can be realized.
Who is responsible for the management, and how will it be guided?
Well, we developed the beach on behalf of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, and what the Municipal Corporation has done is to then go to tender and procure and find a suitable person to manage and to handle the facilities here. So they have done that, and they tell me that they have found someone, and we will be looking to ensure that they keep up to the standard that we want for the beach.
How much of a challenge was the transformation for this beach in particular?
It truly was a challenge because, as you can see, this is just a dust bowl. That's what it was. And with the black sand beach, it's sometimes a little more difficult to work with than the traditional white sand beaches. But I think that the teams did well. Our technical people from TEF and TPDCO who drove the process were enough to the task, and they did a great job. And I'm satisfied that it didn't take us as long as we thought. In fact, we figured it might have been a little over a year when we started, but we were able to do it within a year, and I thank them for that efficiency.
And that brings to a close the official opening of Marking Stone Beach here in Onoto Bay, St. Mary. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
I do have a dream, and I know you have a dream, that we can make Jamaica the place of choice for you to choose to live, to work, to do business.
We are going for the Jamaica we want. Making steady progress to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in our National Development Plan, Vision 2030 Jamaica. We have teamed up with valued partners, working through strong institutions to reduce inequalities in our society. We commit to being responsible in our production and consumption, ensuring we build sustainable communities in harmony with nature. Jamaica is making significant strides in providing quality, lifelong education for all, enabling our people to be engaged in decent work to drive economic growth, equipping men and women with the skills to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industry, foster innovation, and utilize new technologies. Urgent action is being taken to manage natural resources responsibly, protecting clean water sources, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, diversifying to alternative energy sources, conserving our environment and sustaining life below water and on land. Jamaica is making moves to ensure healthy lifestyles for the well-being of our people. We're promoting sustainable agriculture to achieve food security, improve nutrition, and end extreme hunger, putting in the work to end poverty in all its forms. We're on track in achieving our Sustainable Development Goals through realizing our Vision 2030 Jamaica. We will leave no one behind.
And I'm chilling right now, cause we're winning right now.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
September 27 is celebrated annually as World Tourism Day. On this day, we pause to highlight the importance of tourism and its social, cultural, political, and economic values to society. Thanks for stopping by for this, another Friday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams, your guide for the next half hour. We have a lot lined up for you, so please stay with us.
I love waking up every day in this country. This is where I was born and raised. I have such a passion for my country, and for me this is home. In Jamaica, lots of people, they look at just like beach, you know, sea, sand, but our mountains are something to behold. It's majestic up there, and it's a different type of peace. It's a different type of lifestyle completely. I could mention many different places that are amazing, but the one thing I do love about Jamaica as well is that you can find that relaxation, you can find that chill in your backyard. Apart from it being an incredibly beautiful country, an incredibly beautiful island, we have a wonderful, wonderful culture, wonderful, vibrant, colorful people. There is definitely a realness to Jamaica. There's definitely something that no matter what keeps you in touch with reality here. Why come to Jamaica? It all comes back down to Jamaica as a whole. You know, the food, the music, the culture, the people, the climate. Come out and meet us, come out and experience what Jamaica has to offer.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 27. Jamaica will soon have access to €8 million to tackle gender-based violence against women and girls. The funds, which are to be made available in 2020, are to be drawn down from the Spotlight initiative. Spotlight is a global partnership involving the United Nations, the European Union, and beneficiary countries aimed at eliminating all forms of violence against women and girls.
We have been taking a strategic and collaborative approach to the issue of gender-based violence, and we are working assiduously with local and international partners to prevent and respond to acts of violence against women and girls.
Already, the island has initiated plans to construct 2 shelters to house abused women and their children and launched the No Excuse for Abuse public education campaign. Jamaica has also implemented the 2017 to 2027 National Strategic Action Plan to eliminate gender-based violence and advanced work to amend 4 key pieces of legislation to better protect girls and women from violence. Jamaica is now a signatory to the Escazú Agreement on access to information, public participation, and justice in environmental matters in Latin America and the Caribbean. This after Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kamina Johnson-Smith, along with the United Nations Under Secretary General for Legal Affairs and United Nations Legal Counsel, Miguel de Serpa Suarez, signed and ratified the agreement.
It is my pleasure to congratulate the representatives of those states who are signing and ratifying the agreement, which was adopted in Escazú, Costa Rica on the 4th of March last year. The agreement designates the Secretary General of the United Nations as its depositary, and my office discharges the depositary functions on his behalf.
Miguel de Serpa Suarez was speaking yesterday at the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The Escazú Agreement now has 19 signatory countries and 6 nations ratifying it. Bolivia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Uruguay and St. Vincent and the Grenadines also signed and ratified the agreement. The Ministry of Justice has signed a contract to begin expansion works at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The expansion will complete the transformation of Public Building West as part of the move to reform the island's justice infrastructure. YP Seaton and Associates will undertake the project, which is to begin shortly and is to be completed within 8 months. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck says the expansion works will not impact service delivery at the office, as some staff members will be accommodated on the ground floor.
I'm working to ensure that all of the facilities, all the courts across Jamaica, all the justice facilities must be brought up to first class. Initially 1 star, but ultimately I want 5 star. And as the DPP has indicated, the people of this country must get justice delivered in the best facilities.
Minister Chuck was speaking yesterday at the official contract signing and the ministry's second quarterly press briefing. The Health Ministry has signed framework agreements with 10 radiology providers at a cost of $200 million. The agreements, finalized on Wednesday, are to facilitate diagnostic services for an estimated 60,000 patients within the public healthcare system at no cost. The services to be provided under the agreements include computerized tomography (CT) scans, magnetic resonance imaging (MRI), ultrasound, endoscopy, and histopathology. A second component of the agreements involves the procurement of a range of diagnostic equipment to retool the public health system.
We have started the procurement process, and we will spend in the first instance approximately $2 billion Jamaican dollars to begin to retool our hospital system as part of the longer-term strategy.
The initiative falls under the ministry's Enhancing Healthcare Services Delivery project. The project forms part of the government's strategy to reduce waiting time and overcrowding in hospitals, as well as to increase access to quality healthcare. And finally, persons affected by water restrictions should see an improved service in the trucking of the supply. Minister with Oversight for Water, Pernell Charles Jr., says a revamped and reliable schedule has been established, particularly for those customers of the corporate area.
A trucking schedule that can be more certain and bring confidence. We know we have some challenges with that, but we are doing everything possible.
A number of National Water Commission customers in the Kingston metropolitan area have been severely impacted by a disruption in water supply due to roadworks across the capital. Minister Charles Jr. was speaking on the weekly current affairs program OPM Connect on the management and provision of water. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Are you a small to medium-sized tourism enterprise? Borrow up to $25 million at an interest rate of 5%. You can use the funding to develop and maintain your infrastructure, upgrade or increase your capacity, enhance and expand your attraction, tour or event, and purchase raw material. Call the Exim Bank and ask about the Tourism SMTE loan. Their numbers are 876-630-1400 or 876-618-5889. Tap into the over $3 billion earned yearly through tourism with a SMTE loan.
As we celebrate World Tourism Day, we also look at the wider commemoration of Tourism Week under the theme Tourism and Jobs, a Better Future for All. Watch as the Ministry of Tourism prepares our Jamaica labour force for even greater employment opportunities in the tourism sector.
So, good afternoon. Would you like anything? Would you like any drink, any sweets?
No.
Any music?
Some music, please.
What kind of music do you like, man?
Like cultural music.
Okay. One love, one heart, let's get together.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Jamaica.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
Yes, it's our first time here.
Oh my God, and you chose our hotel. I'm so happy for you guys. Okay, we're gonna give you the best service of your life.
I like that.
Okay, and at the end, you can just place your comments and tell us how you feel about our hotel, okay?
Sure.
So, you're the Apache family, a family for two, and your payment method is by credit card, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're staying 2 nights?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you're in room 36. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, Mrs.
Today we are going to be continuing our lesson on communication, and we'll be looking specifically at barriers to communication.
Well, welcome back to another session of our guest cycle, and today we are going to be focusing all our attention on the guests in the hospitality industry.
Two programs being offered concurrently. The future tourism workers are being trained in customer service and hospitality tourism and management. At the end of 2 years, the trainees will receive certification in not one but 4 areas: an associate degree in customer service, AHLEI certification, National Vocational Qualification of Jamaica NVQJ Level 4 certification, and Customer Service Industry Association recognition. And probably the best yet, at the end of the program, the participants will intern at a tourism location to gain valuable on-the-job training, which could lead to permanent employment.
Any other needs that the customer that we have to bear in mind? A timely service. A 2 minutes wait to a customer seems like 30 minutes.
A joint initiative between the Ministries of Education and Tourism, the program is being facilitated under a Memorandum of Understanding. The Tourism Ministry has pumped $100 million into the educational system. It is a 2-year program offered free of cost to trainees. Applicants must possess 5 CSEC subjects or Level 2 certification in hospitality or tourism management. But what is the HTMP? It is offered by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute, AHLEI, and is the official industry-recognized curriculum to prepare students for work in the hotel and accommodation sector. 650 high school leavers are being trained to take up jobs in the hotel and accommodation sector. The trainees are primarily drawn from the resort areas of Westmoreland, Trelawney, St. James, and St. Anne. St. James, being the tourism capital, has dived full-on into the program. The parish's Anchovy High has more than 20 youngsters enrolled, already learning employable tourism skills.
At Anchovy High, we are unique in the sense that we're the only school in St. James that is now piloting the program. We would have received the invitation to be a pilot school through the Ministry of Education prior to the beginning of the 2018-2019 school year. And we gladly accepted the invitation to have the teachers who would deliver the program trained. And so we would have had a number of teachers from the Consumer Science Department. And so we would utilize the principal's cottage and transform that area to accommodate the program.
30 Jamaican teachers were trained by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute's Certified Hospitality Instructor Program to deliver the course to local youth. 3 teachers of Anchovy High were trained and certified by the American Institute. 2 of those teachers are Olga Clark James and Fayoni Sawyers McFarlane.
The students are very, very enthusiastic about the program. I think they have been learning a lot, and many students want to start the program next year. They are able to see that there's a space for them in this industry, and that this HTMP degree that they will get, along with the other qualifications, can take them places. So we look at the barriers to communication, we look at effective communication, and that is in communicating in the workplace. We have the guest cycle, we look at all the different parts of the guest cycle. We have executive housekeeping functions. We look at the role of the executive housekeeper. We also look at inventory control, the guest room, that type of thing for the housekeeping part of it. For the acquiring hospitality and tourism industry knowledge, we look a lot on hospitality and tourism, probably from like 1800s onward. We look at it in Jamaica as well as in the United States. And I think for this has been an eye-opener for myself as well as for the students, because we realize that hospitality and tourism has come a very, very long way, and it has a lot of, it is really, really growing.
Mrs. Sawyers McFarlane is equally ecstatic that the program is targeting the nation's youth.
This program is a wonderful program that they could ever introduce in our school system. because it allows the students to get first-hand knowledge of hospitality training. They are able to learn how to approach the guests, how to deal with guests, how to resolve guest issue as it relates to hospitality industry as on a whole, and it will do very well for them.
I would like to become an executive chef. This program teaches me how to work towards it and persistence in doing it. I have learned a lot of things. For one, I've learned about how to communicate with persons better. I have learned how to manage my time as well, how to work under pressure, and just how to persuade myself as a better person as well. I can say it is a very great program, and I would encourage anyone to come to this program.
This program is a great opportunity for anyone who wants to become a hospitality personnel working in the hospitality industry, and it is a great program overall. I've learned to improve my communication skills, my interpersonal skills. I've learned a lot in the courses such as customer service, front desk operation, and housekeeping operations as well. In the future, I would love to become a food and beverage manager, and this course is also done in the HTMP program.
The Ministries of Tourism and Education, combining lesson plans to secure Jamaica's #1 foreign exchange earning product.
Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you, and do come again.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Earlier this year, Jamaica was voted as one of the top 25 best destinations in the world by renowned travel site TripAdvisor. Jamaica was ranked among destinations such as London, Rome, and Paris. Our island home is packed with so many recreational and historical sites that we often take them for granted. Take a look at 3 spectacular hidden gems in the parish of St. James.
You've joined me at the right time. I'm actually now on my way to explore some of the most historical and culturally rich sites in the parish of St. James. And no, I'm not talking about the popular Rosal Great House, Sam Sharp Square, or Doctor's Cave Beach. We are going to be exploring some of the hidden treasures. So tucked away in the corner of Creek Street and Dome Street in downtown Montego Bay is the Creek Dome Monument. Let's check it out. The Creek Dome was built in 1837 above a stream that gave the households of Montego Bay their best source of drinking water at the time. I hear that this actually used to be the home of the keeper of the dome, and that was someone who lived on the upper floor and took payment from those who came for water.
Remember, every time you take a drink of water, before everybody add this, we Montegonians add this.
I told you this store would be dropping some history, right? After leaving the busy streets of downtown Montego Bay, we headed to the cool hills of Fairfield, where the 300-year-old Belfield Great House and Gardens is found.
Welcome to Belfield, one of the oldest sugar plantations in Jamaica. Okay, so this is an old great house in Jamaica, one of the oldest great house that was owned by 11th generation, still operate under the same family. It was built in 1735. These are pictures of the car Jarrett's. We're gonna enter one of the busiest rooms on the entire house, the dining area. Meals are always elaborate. As you can see the settings, it was elaborate. In the center of this table, you would have an old hog just for decoration. After eating all these, they would get sick sometimes and they blame it on the slave. Poor slave, it was from this fork. It was made from pewter and lead, so it's poisonous. Now we are entering to the master bedroom. As you notice, this dress is over 200 years old, and if you take it up, it can tear apart. As I exit the room, as you notice, the lush green grass that a lot of slaves were working on the sugar plantation, bending their backs and cutting canes. The sugar master would be using this to signal them. Today, this part of the property is used for weddings and private functions. It also over 600 people. Oh, before I forgot, Sandria, I'm gonna tell you about our old Chattanooga. That is a miniature version of an old sugar mill. It is operated by our donkey, Wilhelmina.
Here you go, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Godfrey.
You're welcome. Taste it and enjoy.
Wow. And there you have it. If you're looking for a truly sweet and authentic Jamaican experience, you know where to stop. Thanks, Willie. So listen, after such a filling experience at Belfield Great House, we had to make one more stop in the hills of Anchovy. Trust me, the road may be rocky, but it will be worth it.
Welcome to Rockland, and you're going to feed some hummingbirds. You hold the bottle.
How do you hold the bottle?
Piece like this, and then you put your finger sideways.
Sideways, okay.
And then the hummingbirds come and sit on your finger.
That was quick.
Your finger to go a little bit wider, 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 up.
And just when you think you have seen it all, visitors are able to savor this breathtaking view of Montego Bay from this cozy outdoor patio area, or enjoy a walk through the garden with our guide to learn about some of Jamaica's plants, trees, and herbs. Awesome. Thank you so much, Fitz, for taking me on this peaceful tour of the gardens and for allowing me to become one with nature. I told you wouldn't regret this tour. If you are a nature lover like I am, then the Rocklands Bird Sanctuary is a must-see. But a case can also be made for the Creek Dome Monument and the Belfield Great House. In fact, we barely scratched the surface. St. James has so much more to offer. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and explore all this wonderful parish has to offer.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it.
Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Did you know that tourism generates 10% of jobs worldwide and is included in Sustainable Development Goal 8 for its potential to create decent work? Yes, the benefits of a booming tourism sector are often undervalued. Not only does tourism have a plethora of economic benefits for countries, it also generates countless jobs for persons working in transport and hospitality industries. Furthermore, tourism has the potential to improve relationships between nations and businesses. It is also known that tourism is the catalyst for greater cultural exchange and cultural appreciation. And how can I not mention tourism provides opportunities for entertainment and recreation, which eventually leads to improved happiness and well-being. So on this Tourism Day, let's take a moment to appreciate how our tourism sector is helping to make Jamaica a better place for persons to visit, live, work, raise families, do business, and of course, retire in paradise.
And I was raised resilient people, a tropical island. Oh yeah, and I learned to smile. Here I learned what love is. Authentic Jamaica, the happiest island. Oh yes. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. We are Jamaicans. Hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. The energy is high. Our people proud and strong. When we stand together, we're rising for better. Oh yeah. We're many but one. Together we will strive. When unity is our strength, we rise from our struggles. Oh yeah. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. We are Jamaicans. Hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican. Jamaicans, I really love you. We'll smile the way right through. We're third millennium. I really like you, forever love you. We are wonderfully great, but happiness at all. Now, tomorrow, forever. I really like you, forever love you. Jamaica, 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 Jamaica. So let's remind ourselves and tell the world hello, hello. I'm a Jamaican.
And this is the final stop in today's magazine. Thanks for journeying with us. To watch today's program again, simply visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you're able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Audrey. Have a superb weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Chill Spot. Today, Arlene Martin will be taking us to YS Falls, where we'll learn more about how she made her name in corporate Jamaica as a certified business coach for Action Coach and as the designer and owner for Drena Luna Atelier. So don't go anywhere, lots more to come on your favorite business and lifestyle show.
Hi Candy, how are you doing?
Hi, it's good to
Nice
see you.
meeting you. How was
Hi,
the drive?
Candy,
This
how
is
are
you call, this is Candy.
Hi, how are you?
So we're
Yeah.
going to be chilling in St. Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm the shrimp country. Yeah.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
him. This is the soup spot.
I have shrimp soup and peppered shrimp. You understand? And if you pass with your family and you have a special order, you can just sit around the back just like
Oh,
what
just like here?
from the stage,
Okay.
around the back, relaxing, having their soup.
Definitely having some soup before we head down to YS.
So excuse me, you guys.
All right, we'll see you. We'll see you. So how was your drive down?
It was good. How was yours?
It was pretty good, as normally is.
So talk to us about YS Falls and why it's your chill spot.
Well, I have different chill spots across the country every year. I have a target list of places in Jamaica that I want to go to.
That's
Either
really
new
cool.
places, yeah, or places that I haven't been in a while. So it's been maybe 15 years since YS tried last year. By the time we got here, it was raining.
really?
So I had to make up. So I got back on the list for this year.
This is the trip for this year.
So this is one of my 6 trips for this year. Try to do
6,
something,
right.
yeah, at least once every other month. So I get out of Kingston.
What are we going to be doing when we get there?
Well, definitely want to just relax, do the falls, and then maybe do a little zip line.
So you actually can climb the falls at YS?
It's not climbing like Duns River Falls at all.
That's
So
what
it's
I
a
was
nice experience. You have to take a little ride up there. But as I say, it's been a while, so it's re-experiencing it.
Right.
But I'm open to it feeling like new again.
And then there's a zip line.
Yeah, that's new. I hadn't done that before, so
I don't
that's going to
remember
be
seeing it.
So that's going to be new. It's a new experience, new adventure, and that's what Jamaica is about, right?
The irony of this program is that I don't like to do all of these things, and I always have to do them.
But you see, how do you feel when you do it? You're really
No,
happy,
no,
right?
it's invigorating and just amazing.
So that's what's
So,
going to happen
yeah.
today then.
All right, well.
All right, let's go.
I'm ready. So shrimp first, though, right?
Yes. So shrimp for you, soup for me.
I'm gonna be ordering. I want shrimp.
I'm just going to have a cup of soup.
You want to spice it up.
Oh, thank you.
Make it taste nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks, you call.
Okay, then.
All right, bye. So how is it? Good?
This is delicious.
How's the soup? It's pretty good actually.
It's probably very hot.
It usually isn't too spicy, but just sharp enough.
Right, just right.
Yep, just the right amount of flavor.
So let me not eat all of this now. Let me save some for later.
Some.
But we're off to YS now.
Yeah, let's head to YS now. All right.
Well, what a lovely property this is,
It's absolutely beautiful.
It really is. I love being out here. The whole ambience is just really
It's very nice.
So Arlene, you are a certified business coach with Action Coach, and you're also the owner of Dredaluna. Let's talk about being an action coach. What exactly is it? Is it different from being a mentor or a business coach or a business advisor? Talk about that.
It's closer to being a mentor, certainly not only an advisor, and we're definitely not consultants as business coaches. What we do is we work with firms, empowering them, and we're supporting them. So just like an athlete has a coach, the athlete actually does the performance, and the coach provides that technical information, as well as, very importantly, that accountability to the business owner. So we coach business owners in the same way that a sport coach will coach an athlete.
So how do you make sure that each person, becomes successful? What kind of strategies do you use?
Well, importantly, with Action Coach, we have a proven methodology. And Action Coach is actually a global firm. It's in almost 60 countries with over 1,000 coaches globally. And we have the Jamaica firm here. We'll soon have 3 coaches. Right now, we're still at 2 coaches. So there's a proven methodology for us. Our definition of a successful business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you as the business owner. So a business owner should be able to leave the business running because there are strong enough systems in place and the team can run the business. So how we ensure success with our clients is a proven 6-step methodology that takes them from the basics to actually where you have synergy and everything is working well within the business, like a well-oiled machine that's consistently generating profit for passive income for the business.
Can you tell us some of the persons who you have worked with?
Right, well, in terms of individual clients, we work with just about any business from any industry because our basic business model, the business chassis, is the same. And even if you run one business, you can run 2 or 3 businesses. And we've worked with the tourism sector, we've worked in health, we've worked in retail, manufacturing and production, as well as professional services. So our clients come from just about any industries. We've also had strategic alliances, so we have worked with major banks, the National Commercial Bank, as well as the Bank of Nova Scotia. You may have heard about the Scotiabank Vision Achievers program.
Yes, exactly.
That was actually run by Action Coach. So it was founded on an Action Coach group coaching program.
My best friend actually did it.
Oh, excellent. What were the results?
She loves it. She loves it. She told me that it was very good and she recommended it to me as well, that I should go through it.
It's very important, and what we love about it and what brings out that passion for us in terms of that satisfaction is when we have stories like that, because business owners actually improve.
What about what led up to you partnering with Action Coach and becoming a business coach? Tell me about how that happened.
It's interesting. So my passion had always been really to support companies, but I was doing that indirectly. And so I started out wanting to promote very specifically agricultural exports from Jamaica so that our economy could develop that way. So I did trade policy and promotion. I got experience first in the agricultural sector in the USA, broadly for the State Department of Agriculture in the state of Georgia, and also with the Poultry and Egg Association in the US before working at the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO. So with JAMPRO, great experience. I worked through the export development departments, even though I started out in the President's office focused on trade policy, until I got to special projects. So transitioned through a number of programs, but always working either at the national level or at sector level, trying to help companies to improve access to export markets, or how it is that they were promoting their products in markets that they could penetrate for increased sales. So what led to the transition for me is there's so much you can do when you do strategy and when you do programs, but you have trade figures for nations, but it's not the nations that are actually trading, it's the companies that are doing business. So to really have impact, I wanted to work more closely with the firms. And after JAMPRO, I did international consulting for a while, working on local projects, still in the area primarily of strategy for export as well as investment. And so I was searching for something like, how can I have greater impact to realize this passion that I have for companies? And I actually came across Action Coach. So before becoming a certified coach last year, I did some business development with Action Coach as early as 2013. And now I'm actually doing what I think I've always wanted to do, which is really helping companies to develop and grow.
That's awesome.
We really work with our business owners to get what they want out of the business for their own lives. Because for us, it is that your business plan is supposed to meet your life plan. So it's about a balanced life. Yes, we're business coaches, but we make sure that people have a balanced life as well, and we coach them towards that.
Coming up. So what would you say are your thoughts on Brand Jamaica? Do you think we're earning enough from that concept?
We have a significant potential with Brand Jamaica. In terms of the extent to which we are there, like optimizing it, I'm not sure if we're even at 10%.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
We're going to move now into your other life.
Yes, my other life. I have two, at least two businesses, two on the business side.
So you're the owner and designer for Drena Luna. So talk to us about that brand.
Okay, so Drena Luna is women's wear, primarily focused on dressing the confident woman who's always comfortable. Started out focusing on special occasion clothing, did ready-to-wear collections, but the focus continues to be special occasion, even though with our collections we offer a good mix of resort clothing.
How did you get involved in the fashion industry? How did this start?
Interestingly, when I was about 3 or 4 years old, that's what I wanted to do. So that was what I wanted to do, and I grew up But you know what happens in high school, you learn additional things, and so your focus changes, and fashion became a hobby for me. So it's nothing that left me, it remained with me, but only as a hobby. So I was making clothes for myself and for my sister, and people kept asking. I was just like, no, that's not what I do. I work at Jamper full time. I have a full-time job. I cannot make clothes for you. I don't sell clothes. But people kept asking, and so what happened, I decided to test it at Caribbean Fashion Week in 2009 to see what the reception might be to a collection that I did, and it was positive, and so I formally launched the following year in 2010.
Where would you say you draw inspiration from?
It varies. So if you look even at the names of the collections, there's one called Mobay, one called, well, I should say Montego Bay, which is where I'm from. Another is called Negril, favorite part of the island. One is called Botswana. I had a beautiful trip to Botswana, and it was really impactful in terms of when you looked at a great experience. So for me, what happens in terms of inspiration, it is how would I like to dress, or how would I like someone to dress and feel in a particular location. So a location like this one could inspire me to do a collection. And sometimes, particularly with the special occasion when I'm doing custom things, it really is about the person, the experience, how it is that they would like to feel. But to be honest with you, sometimes there is just a creative impulse, and I will have an idea for something that I would like to create, and then you have spin-offs from it in terms of creating other designs. So in terms of inspiration, I would say it's multiple.
And what would you say has been the highlight of your Drenaluna side?
Wow, it's always, as I say, humbling almost when you receive an invitation as a Jamaican designer, and particularly in some instances being the only Jamaican designer invited to participate in a trade show or in a fashion show event, and that's happened maybe about 3 times. And so in terms of a highlight, to be recognized like that is always very nice.
So what would you say are your thoughts on Brand Jamaica? Do you think we're earning enough from that concept?
We have a significant potential with Brand Jamaica. In terms of the extent to which we are there, like optimizing it, I'm not sure if we're even at 10%. And this is not only in the area of fashion, but this is in all of the content that we have, the stories, the history behind a place like this, or sports, or music, the culture, everything that makes up the country. And I think that what we need to do is to embrace it more as Jamaicans, and to realize how it is that we can capitalize on it in terms of monetizing it. But we as ourselves as Jamaicans is how it is that we support our industry. So on our drive down, we stopped somewhere to have something to experience Brand Jamaica and to give back to the community. So it's principles like that. For me personally, I support local brands. So even though this is my dress, these are bangles from Mara Made, and I'm wearing locally made slippers. So just in about every area, to the extent possible, it's how is it that we not only pick up a product or a service that is Jamaican, but how do we promote it? Right. So how am I now going to, so I have a company, how do I partner with supporting products, similar products, other designers, as I said, related products, accessories, sandals, to promote that. But interestingly, from the business side of it, I think that corporate Jamaica, particularly financial institutions and just other persons, can do more to support the industry as well. So there's a role for everyone to play, whether it is sponsoring or supporting programs such as this one, you know, local films or industries. It's for each person, for each Jamaican, to try to recognize what role they can play in doing it.
What would you say drives you to succeed?
What drives me is really wanting to give back. It's your life is your own and you should live fully. I don't know if you've heard the quote, live fully, die empty. That's something that I strive towards, but I really want to give back, and the more I do, the more I acquire, the more I'm going to be able to give.
Do you have any other professional pursuits?
Interestingly, just for November 2014, Jamaica Firm, globally within Action Coach, was ranked number 8. So we're in the top 10. The Jamaica Firm is already, as small as we are, based on just our impact and all the activities, we're number 8. So there's a lot more that we can do within the firm. And so as a business coach, I would say, rather than doing other things, is really just to do as much as I can do. And with Drenaluna, in terms of pursuits, the business has the potential to grow for new segments, new markets, and so I'm going to be focused on that with the support of my sister Angelie Martin Spencer. So it really is just to grow Drana Luna as well as Action Coach without taking on additional enterprises.
What's one tip that you would give people about making their passion their paycheck? Because you've done that and done it so well.
It really is a matter of following your purpose. What is your purpose? What is your why? And if that is what your passion is, then you really ought to pursue it. But sometimes for some people, it is a matter of the paycheck is the means to their passion. Right. So it's not for everyone that your passion is going to be your paycheck, but your paycheck can contribute to your passion. So the tip is, which is it for you? And then whatever decision you take is to pursue that one 100%.
Well, thanks for that tip, Arlene. I think I'm actually gonna use that one the most. But now it's time to zipline.
Zipline, all right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Coming up. Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
I'm Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, and you're watching Business Access.
Well, that was exhilarating.
Loads of fun.
So we want to get into the personal side of Arlene. Talk to us about your childhood.
Oh, childhood was loads of fun. And I think that's why I had so much fun here today, because I have 3 siblings. I have 3 older sisters. Okay. The eldest are twins, and then there's another who's just a year older than I am. So we're close in age, but there were a lot of family trips from Montego Bay. And so being from Montego Bay, we'd go out to different places, Negril, South Coast here, Black River, just do attractions and just driving around doing different things. So maybe that's why I love doing that so much now. I attended the Cornaldy Avenue Primary School in Mobay, and then I went to Mount Alvernia High. Yes, but it stops at 5th form, so I did 6th form at Wilmers for girls in Kingston. So I did boarding for a couple of years for 6th form in Kingston.
Okay, and that's when you moved to Kingston?
Well, so as in Kingston only for 6th form, went back to Montego Bay, and then I did undergraduate studies overseas. Okay. So I was in Georgia in the US. I went to the University of Georgia.
Okay, and what else do you like to do for fun?
Movies. That's one of the things I really like doing, and I hang out with family a lot.
Right, I was just about to ask.
We talk about family quite a bit.
All right, now talk to us about your bucket list. I know you had kind of mentioned that you try to do 6 things in Jamaica every year. What have you checked off and what's left to go?
What I'd like to do next for Jamaica is the Pelican Bar. So I still haven't been, so that's one of the things that I'd really like to do. I'm a huge fan of Bob Marley, and I still haven't been to 9 Miles. I think it's about, yes.
I mean, I've passed it, but I've never been there.
Well, I just discovered exactly where it is last year.
Yeah.
So that's something that I definitely want to do.
So I think the only thing left for us to do here is to actually swim, because we haven't done that yet.
We haven't touched the actual YS River.
Right, so we're going to
do that. And then after that, we're going to Morris.
Oh,
so we're going to make one stop. Just one stop before we head back into Kingston. All right.
So let's go swim. Hi.
How are you doing?
Good to see you again.
Welcome, yes. Yeah. Welcome to Morris.
Thank you. All right, so tell me why you like Morris.
Well, you know, jerk is a Jamaican thing, and on the South Coast run, it's a good stop. Right. And the location is good because it's nice and in between, because we're usually St. Elizabeth coming in, and the food is great.
So is it safe to assume that you're a foodie, the middle quarters, the Morris?
Oh, gosh, I would not describe myself as a foodie. There are some things that I love, and I eat what I love, but I'm not a foodie in the sense of experimenting with a lot of things. I am very happy with bread and fried bread and a few other things.
Well, Arlene, what can I say about today? It has been nothing short of fun and delicious, I think, should be the word. From the shrimp to the excursion at YS, to the zip lining, to the swim, the nice relaxing swim, and now here at Morris. I just want to say thank you for coming on the show and for sharing your chill spot with us.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm glad you enjoyed the day.
Thank you so much. All right, back to the food.
Yes, let's wrap.
St. Elizabeth is known as the breadbasket of Jamaica, but clearly this parish has much more to offer, as we have seen today here at YS Falls. Thanks, of course, to Arlene Martin for sharing her awesome chill spot with us. And remember to tune in next time, same place for more Chill Spot. Until then, I'm Candy, signing out. Bye. I should say Neville, remember the son. I want to pick on Neville today.
It's Nigel.
Sorry, Nigel. And what did I tell you about saying action? You said 3-2-Q, I heard you.
As I say, I think he was tired and wanted to go, so he just bolted.
You would never find me doing that again if horse ran away with me. Let me just tell you. The irony of this program is that I don't like to do all of these things, and I always have to do them.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hurricane Humberto swipes Bermuda without catastrophic damage.
SEDEMA expresses appreciation for support to the relief efforts in the Bahamas.
And the CARICOM Secretariat wraps up 2 weeks of wellness activities. Welcome to the CARICOM News Time for the week ending Friday, 20th September 2019. I am Tusankin English Francis.
And I am Michelle Nurse. Thanks for joining us.
Strong winds swept across Bermuda as Category 3 Hurricane Humberto swiped the island Wednesday night. 120 miles per hour winds left 80% of the island without power. The government said there were 17 minor incidents, including gas leaks, 9 medical incidents, and 3 structural fires that were not serious. Bermuda rarely sees storms as big and powerful as Humberto. Only 22 hurricanes have passed within 100 miles of the island paradise over the past century. Hurricane Gonzalo in 2014 was the last to make landfall there. By the end of the week, attention turned to Tropical Storm Jerry, which was expected to pass near the Leeward Islands.
The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA, has expressed profound gratitude to the donors who have contributed to the humanitarian relief effort in the Bahamas. SEDEMA said operations of international and regional partners have been streamlined with existing emergency support groups of the Bahamas National Emergency Operations Center. SEDEMA has assisted the center in the re-establishment of an emergency operations center in Abaco and with the drafting of a conceptual framework for recovery planning for the Bahamas. The framework was presented to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas and his cabinet. SEDEMA is also assisting the Bahamas with a detailed assessment of damaged sectors, including agriculture, health, education, tourism, housing, as well as with debris and waste management. Other CARICOM institutions, including CARDI and the CARICOM Impacts, are involved in the aid response. You can read SEDEMA's updated reports on the situation in the Bahamas at sedema.org. The report has details of all the regional and international agencies involved in the disaster emergency response and management in the Bahamas.
Guyana welcomed the first set of hurricane victims from the Bahamas Sunday last. Several ministers of government were present at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport to welcome home a family of 5 who were displaced after Hurricane Dorian ripped through parts of the Bahamas.
The chair of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has advised President David Granger that the commission will be ready to conduct credible general and regional elections by the end of February next year. Justice Singh advised President Granger of the commission's time frame on Thursday, the 19th of September. President Granger said that his cabinet will discuss the time frame for the elections.
I have received a letter from the election commission chairman, and I should be meeting the my cabinet in a few minutes' time to discuss that letter. I am confident that the Commission and the Chairman, in her deliberate judgment, will give me advice which will ensure credible elections based on a credible basis. That's what I'm working towards.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres wants a whole-of-society approach to compel governments to urgently address climate change. The UN Secretary General headed into the UN Climate Action Summit on the 23rd of September with the view that without financial support, the impact of climate change on the developing world can be absolutely devastating. The UNSG visited the Bahamas earlier in September and witnessed the devastation in the affected islands. He made an impassioned plea for the international community to urgently address climate change.
CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque anticipates that diplomatic political cooperation between the community and India will deepen when the two sides meet in New York for the first CARICOM India Summit. Heads of government of CARICOM will have discussions with the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, on Wednesday, the 25th of September, on the sidelines of the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The new ambassador of India to CARICOM, Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, is optimistic that this high-level engagement will pave the way for enhanced bilateral relations, particularly in the area of trade. He said during the period April 2018 to March 2019, India's trade with CARICOM was pegged at $674.32 million. Dr. Srinivasa said immense opportunities exist for CARICOM and India to further enhance bilateral trade in areas such as agriculture and food security, health and pharmaceuticals, small and medium enterprises, marine development and oceanography, and disaster management. CARICOM heads of government will address the opening session of the United Nations General Assembly. CARICOM representatives, including the Secretary General and Assistant Secretary General for Foreign and Community Relations, will also participate in several fora, including the United Nations General Assembly High-Level Dialogue on Financing for Development, the High-Level Meeting to review progress made in addressing priorities of small island developing states, and the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development.
The creation of wealth through agriculture will be in focus at the 12th Regional Planners Forum on Agriculture, slated for Belize City, Belize, later this month. Under the theme Capitalizing on the New Frontier in Global Agriculture, the week of activities will begin on the 30th of September and end on the 4th of October. A special meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, and interagency discussions among the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM, the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, and the Caribbean Agricultural Health and Food Safety Agency, CAFSA, will be the high points of the week. It is anticipated that robust discussions will be held on ICT and agriculture, cannabis and agriculture, the regional sugar industry, and climate change and agriculture. Emphasis will also be placed on women and youth in agriculture as well as the blue economy. The CARICOM Secretariat is organizing the event with the support from the government of Belize and other partners, including the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, the Inter-American Development Bank, and the Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation.
CARICOM has acknowledged the significant progress St. Kitts and Nevis has made as the member state marked its 36th anniversary of independence on Friday. In a congratulatory message to the Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris of St. Kitts and Nevis, CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque said the country is justified in celebrating its achievement with pride. Secretary General LaRocque acknowledged the unwavering commitment and leadership of Prime Minister Harris during the first 6 months of this year at a challenging time for the community. He said the community looks forward to St. Kitts and Nevis's continued leadership in advancing issues related to human resource development, health, and HIV in its portfolio in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM.
The CARICOM Secretariat joined the rest of the region in 2 weeks of wellness activities, culminating with a sports and family day on Saturday, the 21st of September. The activities highlighted friendly and sometimes very serious competition among 4 houses named after the founding fathers of CARICOM: Barrow, Manley, Burnham, and Williams. There was a whole-of-body approach in the activities planned for the competitions. Games such as Scrabble and Dominoes were organized to determine cognitive wellness, while football, cricket, table tennis, as well as road tennis were played to test physical wellness. Guyana's Ministry of Health facilitated health screenings for blood sugar, blood pressure, cervical, and breast cancers. A doctor was on hand for medical consultations and prescriptions, for which there was a pharmacist to dispense medication. Staff benefited from several discussions facilitated by medical experts on mental health, diet and exercise, chronic disease control, including the role of screening and treatment compliance. Services were available to conduct dental and vision screening, as well as breast examinations. Several members of staff donated blood to the National Blood Bank. For more stories, you can visit the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org.
Like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.
Evelyn Harris is a maroon healer in Jamaica. She has spent decades making a living from her knowledge of Jamaican plants and their healing properties. The products she makes from these plants are in constant demand, and she's happy to be able to help others. She is symbolic of many persons in the Caribbean whose traditional knowledge is a rich and often unacknowledged resource.
You have to be curious to learn about herbs. This is dog's blood, and this one is good for infection or black tube. And this one is piaba, and the piaba is what good for women who's going through menopause.
She, like many others in the region, can share stories of how her knowledge has contributed to research without being properly credited or compensated. But all that will change as more Caribbean countries are getting on board with a Nagoya Protocol that will protect knowledge held by persons like Evelyn and will serve to preserve the natural resources she depends on. The Nagoya Protocol is an international agreement that focuses on the fair and equitable sharing of the benefits from the sustainable use of genetic resources. It is an agreement that researchers and prospective business developers that use the Caribbean's natural resources need to be aware of.
The Caribbean region has an abundant variety of marine and terrestrial biodiversity, including a high number of endemic species of flora and fauna. This richness is combined with a mix of cultures and traditional knowledge. Also, it is clear that Caribbean countries recognize the importance of their unique genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge, and at the same time know that sharing the benefits of the utilization of these resources can be a way to protect the rich natural resources and bring prosperity to Caribbean people.
The International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, in partnership with the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, and the Global Environment Facility, GEF, is working with regional governments, research institutions, and other partners in the Caribbean to support countries to promote the sustainable use of the region's resources.
The needs are envisioned at 3 levels. One is at local levels, working with local communities and indigenous groups. The second level is the national level, working mainly with government and key line agencies that are going to be somehow responsible to implement the protocol, that have competencies according to the national law and the international legislation. And the third level is the regional level, working with CARICOM, for example, with OECS, other regional bodies like tourism organizations or other pertinent bodies that has responsibilities as well in the provision of the Nagoya Protocol.
Regulations will also be established for prior informed consent to access resources and the negotiation of mutually agreed terms to maximize the benefits of the protocol.
The Nagoya Protocol specifically deals with the issue of access to genetic resources and the sharing of the benefits that are gained from those resources. Now, if you think about the issue of sustainable development, if you think about the issue of natural resource management, it is necessary for these countries, who in most cases are small island developing states or developing countries, they need resources to be able to protect these natural resources that we have, these genetic resources. And so any avenue that is going to assist with making sure that some of these benefits come back in order to sustainably use these resources is something that the IUCN is always interested in providing.
The Bahamas, for example, is a hotspot for access to genetic resources for research and development. But only in one case of successful commercialization has benefit sharing with a country on the basis of an ABS contract took place.
There is a soft coral, which is a wavy coral. It's harvested annually in the Bahamas, and an extract from that was the first source of chemicals which are used today in skin revitalizing anti-aging creams. One of the researchers from the University of California came to the Bahamas and discovered a class of compounds which have anti-inflammatory properties. Later on, over 100 products in the world have been developed from the extracts from this coral.
For practitioners such as Dr. Sylvia Mitchell, the protocol will change the way how local communities and indigenous people like the Amerindians, Maroons, and Rastafarians operate.
The indigenous and local communities have to be part of the process. A very important part that the Nagoya Protocol recognizes in this whole value chain is that there are local indigenous communities all over the biodiversity-rich areas that have over many, many generations developed recipes. And when you develop products in the end, many, many years later, creams, anti-cancer, whatever, many times that traditional knowledge has been taken into account, but it doesn't filter back to those local communities.
Several Caribbean countries have already started putting in the framework to benefit from the implementation of the Nagoya Protocol. In Guyana, certain key steps have been taken.
Guyana already had a system in place with regards to granting access to its genetic resources. And that system is basically done through the Environmental Protection Agency. We're the agency responsible for granting all access to persons coming into the country to do research. If persons want to enter a specific community to access a specific resource, they have to get the consent of that community. When that consent is received, what they do is they have to submit that to, we have Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. And they would usually issue official permission saying the community has no objection with this person coming in to do such and such. When we have that, then we would issue our permit.
For Antigua and Barbuda, much has already been done, as these islands are in the process of depositing their ratification instrument.
This project will allow us to develop our regulations, to develop our policy, to set up our institutional infrastructure to now manage the issues. We don't know when any genetic materials and the associated traditional knowledge are being taken out of the country. We're not aware. It's only those people who will inform certain agencies or certain government agencies that they're taking them out. That only happens occasionally. But in instituting this Nagoya Protocol, in instituting our ABS regulations and policy, we'll be able to finally have a system to regulate this process.
The Nagoya Protocol is helping to preserve traditional knowledge that could be lost as elders die.
Over a period of time, people will come there, people have their complaints, people want to be treated for some ailments or whatever, and people just community folks will do what they have to do for them, but not necessarily telling them, you know, what is it I have done for you. Okay, if you come, you have a problem with your belly or your back or your shoulder or whatever, you will get the treatment for it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna know all the ingredients and stuff that goes into it. And even sometimes if people would probably show to you, you might see an ingredient or two that they use, but it would be probably the least important of the ingredient that you would have seen.
As the Caribbean embraces new opportunities to benefit from our biological resources, we look to the future.
I represent 11 parishes across the island which have a membership about 5,000. These are traditional farmers who have been growing marijuana illegally for years. Now that we are on the way to have a formal industry, we are working hard to allow standards to fit their needs as grassroots people while working with governments and agencies across the world.
The Nagoya Protocol is opening doors for Caribbean people.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and
help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The Poverty Reduction Program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them, teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run, it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
The eyebrows shape the human face and give definition to one's eyes and forehead. Since the growth of the makeup industry, people spend more time getting it right. This week we look at eyebrows, not just how to get them on fleek, but also how to take care of them. Welcome to The Good Life, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for having us. So today we're talking about eyebrows. Why are the eyebrows such an important part of the makeup process?
Well, the eyebrows help to frame the face. So you find sometimes if the eyebrow is off, it tends to alter the shape of the face. It's good to have them looking like sisters and not twins. Sometimes, there's hair missing, or, people go to the barber or the salon and they tend to mess it up.
When doing eyebrows, what issues usually come to the forefront? Or what issues do customers usually come in with?
The biggest issue is thin eyebrows. I find that persons who go to the barber, they tend to thin out the eyebrows, and that's not a trend right now. The trend now is to have full, thick eyebrows. Right. So that is the main issue. You tend to go along with the natural shape of the brow, but it can be enhanced. Okay. So you fill in accordingly.
On my own, feeling confused, I'm slightly amused by it all. I'm wavy, you have no control. My mind is blossoming lately. You think you're the wave, I beg to differ. I inherited the wave.
Okay, so what are some tips in regards to picking colors to match your brows?
Well, it depends on the look that you're going for. Some people tend to like a lighter brow. Some people like a darker brow. So it really depends on the mood and the look that you're going for. For a daytime look, I would suggest a lighter brow, probably 1 or 2 shades lighter. That can be achieved by using a brow gel, or you can also use a lighter powder or a pencil. Okay. For the nighttime, you can go a little bit darker, because you might be sweating and so on, so you want the eyebrows to still be there.
So you didn't trim or tweeze my eyebrows prior to filling them in. Is that something that you normally do, or you just leave it up to the client to groom their own eyebrows?
I usually ask the clients to come with a clean brow because personally I've had bad experiences with makeup artists. In my experience, that they fill in the eyebrows first and then they decide to take out what is left. So when I went home, I didn't have any eyebrows left and I was mad. So I usually tell persons to go to the regular eyebrow specialist, have it done before you come to me.
What about those people who don't tweeze or wax and have more of a natural eyebrow, literally where they don't touch it?
An eyebrow can be created for everybody, whether it's full, thick, thin. So it really doesn't matter.
Talk to us about the steps when, filling in and highlighting your eyebrows. How do you go about doing that?
Okay, first, I tend to analyze the brow to see where it needs filling in and how I'm going to approach it, if I'm going to use a powder or if I'm going to use a gel. So for Amita, she has thick brows. So first we start to comb through. We comb upwards and then we go across. And then the angle brush, and we use it with a powder, and we started to fill in the areas that needed powder, following the natural arch right through, adding a little tail because at the end here she doesn't have a lot of hair, so we just added a little tail to finish it off. Sometimes if you use a powder or the pencil, sometimes too much product comes off, so what we use is a spoolie to just brush through, just to ensure that everything is even. After that, we used a flat brush with a concealer, two shades lighter than your complexion, to give a little highlight under the brow and to also clean up, because sometimes we get a little carried away with the line. So we use the angle brush and we move along the bottom line of the brow, and then we blend it out. You can use your finger or a blending brush to just blend out the product. Above the brow is optional. Sometimes I see people out on the road with this white halo above the brow. I don't think that's very attractive. So what I tend to use is foundation, or I use the gel liner at the top with the same angle brush to just fill in accordingly. And we can brush through again with the spoolie. Like I said, if you want a lighter brow, you can use a brow gel, or you can leave it.
So it seems like, there are a few steps involved and a few different products. How time consuming is, doing your eyebrows?
I would say that eyebrows take probably 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. I see persons watching YouTube videos, etc., but it really comes down to practice. It shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. Not a lot of products are involved. So yeah, 10 minutes should be good enough.
'Cause I'm whipping it like I'm cocaine, leaning oh so far. I'm over the limit, can stop it, I'm soaring, I'm leaning up, laughing, I'm going under, 'cause
Well, that's one technique to get your eyebrows on fleek. When we come back, we will check out another growing eyebrow trend.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to The Good Life. Well-groomed eyebrows can work wonders to the face. Here are some interesting facts on how to take care of them. It's the slowest growing hair on the human body. Protein-rich foods such as tofu and nuts strengthen the hair in your eyebrow. Washing the face with warm water after tweezing is not advised, especially if you have thin eyebrows, as hair follicles might loosen and fall out. We've already looked at using makeup for the brows on fleek effect. Now check out another new and effective trend for eyebrows.
I'm Talia Davis. I'm a licensed esthetician and the owner of the Lash Studio. Microblading is the newest trend for eyebrows. It involves using a pen-like device dipped in ink and then stroked into the skin. So you create hair-like strokes into the skin. With the tattoo, the normal tattoo, they use a machine. They just do one thing. It's like one line in the brow. And by the time you're finished, it's like a dark mass on the eyebrow. But with the microblading, it looks so natural. You can't tell which is your hair or which is strokes that were made into the skin. The microblading lasts 12 to 18 months. I think it is fairly new. It is around 2 years old, and it is mostly practiced in the States, in America, and in the European countries. It is hardly known in the Caribbean, to be honest, and it's really difficult getting it out there and for people to understand what it really is, because even when you explain it to them, they tend to not, go and do further research for themselves to get better understanding.
It is important to note that persons who have skin diseases like alopecia or hair loss from scars or chemotherapy, over plucking or thinning eyebrows may also be desirous to try the technique. Talia explains, though, that in Jamaica, the trend is mainly for beauty purposes.
One would desire to do microblading when they have, for example, they want a little more arch to their brows. And for those who want to fully reconstruct their brows, like they're totally unhappy with the way it is. For those who have gaps in their brows, they can cover it with microblading as well, so it looks really natural. And for those who just don't have the time to get up every morning and draw on the brows with pencil or filling it with brow powder, it is best for the people who aren't really in tune with the whole makeup thing. The best advantage of getting your brows microbladed is that you wake up every morning feeling beautiful. You don't have to do anything. And I think, personally, it is boyfriend or husband proof, because, they don't really like the whole fake thing, the whole drawing enough brows, and, so doing something that looks really natural is accepted by them. Doing the procedure, sometimes it does get a bit painful. Even though the person is numbed at least 30 minutes before the procedure, it will get a little painful for the client. And he or she, they don't want to do it anymore, because I've had a client once who came in and I did like 3 strokes in her brows, and she said that she can't manage it. I'm like, you just need to relax. It's gonna look great because the strokes look so great on her skin already. And she was like, no, she can't do this, and she have to go and check with her dermatologist if it's right for her. And I think having patience is one of the biggest things for me. And then it is having the whole artsy thing. You have to know how to draw the strokes. Like, not everybody, I have seen other microblading pictures and the strokes aren't natural looking. Even though you have the pen and you know that the stroke shouldn't be too long and shouldn't be too short, some people just still don't know how to draw strokes to make them look natural. Biggest disadvantage of getting your brows microbladed is getting it performed by somebody who is not certified in the area, because you have to be certified in knowing proper sanitation. I mean, you're using needles into somebody's skin. You have to know that you have to change the needles. Each needle is single use. And the whole art of it, how you draw the stroke should not be too deep into the skin because that can cause it to bruise and not heal properly. And somebody who's not trained wouldn't know that, you understand? Another reason, another disadvantage is that doing microblading, the stroke should not cross. And if they cross, that can cause infection. So each stroke should be to themselves, nothing should be touching. The cost is just one set price. Yes, it is one set price. Many a times people come in and they say that they only want ends, and if I can give them a discount because it's just the ends they want. And the answer is going to be no, because it's one set price, and the products itself, the inks and the pens and the numbing cream especially, they're expensive, so I have to just deal with one price. It doesn't matter how many strokes are put in, and it doesn't matter if you have no brows or if you have a lot of brows. It's just one set price. It's $25,000.
And that's the cost of beauty. Microblading to be specific. Stay tuned to see the process of getting your eyebrows embroidered.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to The Good Life.
When a person calls for a microblading appointment, I usually do follow-up questions. I ask if they're pregnant, because pregnant ladies are not suitable for this procedure. I ask if they have keloid skin, because keloid skin bruise easily. I usually ask if they're using any blood thinners, example aspirin, because aspirin allows the blood to run more easily. And I usually advise them about the pain that they may feel as well, because it's not guaranteed that you won't feel no pain at all. And I let them know that this is a procedure where the results are semi-permanent and next week it won't go away. So if it's a case where I do the procedure and you don't like it, then you will have to wait at least 6 months before it really starts to fade. Even though I've never done a client and they don't like their brows. All my clients love their brows. First 30 minutes they're numbed with one numbing cream, and then after the first numbing, they're numb a second time with another numbing cream. And the numbing creams are usually really, really expensive. During the procedure, equipments that are used are the stainless steel pen, and the pen is about this tall, long, and there are needles at the end. So the needles are in a straight line, they're really small. And I use the inks. The inks are organic inks. It doesn't necessarily mean that plants are used to make these inks. It just means that the chemicals, the products that are used in it aren't as strong as the ones that are used to do normal tattoos. And the ink is one of the reasons why it is not considered to be permanent, because the ink is organic. So after a while it fades, and using the needles, the needle isn't pressed too deeply into the skin, so that is why it fades as well. Now that I've told you a few important things that you need to know about microblading, let's have a look at the procedure. As you can see, we already drew the outline for the brows, and the client has to light them before we can even continue. So this is the shape that she says that she likes. Little arch and nice and full. They won't need this full though, but this is basically the outline that we're working with today. Are you ready, Jody? I'm going to make one stroke, right?
Stroke after stroke after stroke may cause the client to bleed. This is normal, and a certified technician would still be able to continue to achieve the desired results.
So as you can see, these are the strokes that were created in our skin. Natural looking. It feels tender, right? Helps with the tenderness. And it's good with healing, but it's not really, doesn't work well with the ink for everyday use. So my aftercare tip is that my client uses coconut oil, organic coconut oil, for the brows, or nothing at all. My aftercare tip for my clients is that they try not to pencil their brows until a week later, and to use raw organic coconut oil. The follow-ups are done 4 to 6 weeks later. The brows take at least 25 to 30 days to heal, and that is why we do the follow-ups on the 5th or the 6th week. After this procedure, you can expect swelling. For some persons, it depends on the skin type, or you can see redness, and it lasts like an hour to 2 hours after the procedure. After the brows are done, they're yours, and you can take a picture, a selfie at the same time. Clients usually see scalping at least a week after, and many call and say, it's healing, but when the scalps are coming off, it looks like it's fading. It usually fades at that time, but it will get brighter as the weeks go by. As I've said, the cost for microblading is $25,000, and as you can see, I use inks, I use stainless steel pen. The inks are usually $40 to to 60 US dollars or euro as well. And the numbing cream is from 80 to 100 US dollars. And I have to get a big one and a small one. So the small ones are $80 and the bigger numbing cream will come up to like $120 or so. The cost is justifiable. The products aren't sold in Jamaica. We have to order them online, and then shipping is a next cost as well. So I think it's reasonable. It's very reasonable because in the States, the cost for microblading is like $800 to $1,000 US dollars, and in Jamaica it's $25,000. And we are using the same products as the pro microbladers in the States and in the European countries, and getting the same results as well. Yes.
The procedure wasn't that bad, honestly. There was a little pain. The most is like hearing it being done, so then you get frightened within. You say like, okay, yes, it's being done, but it really wasn't that bad. Now I don't have to buy pencils and concealers and tweezers and all those stuff to like keep it on point. So now I just have to wake up, put a little powder and go. Beauty comes with pain, and you have to go through a little pain to be in the now. It's worth it.
Long as the beauty industry continues to thrive, there will be those who try to feel their best by looking their best, whether it's by using makeup or a more permanent fix. Getting the eyebrows on fleek is to many a big accomplishment. And you've watched The Good Life.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transfer and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process, because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2-3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start the production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
it has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that are coming with those proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
The first airlines were mail planes with a few extra spaces for passengers. On these flights, you had to take care of yourself. The history of flight attendants started when commercial air travel began in the early 1920s. The flight attendants were first called couriers, and they were the sons of businessmen who financed the airlines. With the crash of the stock market in the mid-1920s, couriers were no longer employed. Co-pilots were used as replacement. But with the improvement in passenger air travel in the 1930s, airlines began to reassess the responsibility of seeing to the passengers' needs. Flight attendants, formerly stewards or stewardesses, are members of an air crew employed by airlines primarily to ensure the safety and comfort of passengers aboard commercial flights, on select business jet aircraft, and on some military aircraft. On this episode of Career Moves, we visited Fly Jamaica Airways to explore all there is to know about flight attendants.
My name is Julian Edwards. I'm an instructor and a senior cabin crew member at Fly Jamaica Airways. Fly Jamaica Airways is a partnership between Captain Ronald Reese and his wife, Mrs. Reese. They're both Guyanese, and we also have 3 Jamaican shareholders. Captain and Mrs. Reese are owners and operators of Wings Aviations in Guyana, and so they bring to us that experience in aviation. Fly Jamaica Airways is certified by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, which is the governing body in Jamaica. We currently operate 2 aircraft. We have a Boeing 757. The capacity is 198 passengers, and we also operate the Boeing 767, and that capacity is 246 passengers. We had our inaugural flight on February 14, 2013, Valentine's Day, and that flight was from Kingston to New York, the John F. Kennedy International Airport. And that very same year, in December 2013, we started operating to Toronto from Kingston. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we have charter services available. So far we have done charters to Cuba and Haiti, and we're in dialogue for lots more charters in the future. We also have a cargo service, and that is doing extremely well. So we take cargo between Kingston to Guyana, Toronto, and New York. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we have 2 bases for our cabin crew members. We have a base in Kingston here and one in Guyana. There's a total of 60 cabin crew members and 13 senior cabin crew members, and we also have 3 trainers. We fly from Kingston to New York. We also have flights to Guyana and to Toronto. As an instructor, I'm not required to fly a lot, but I do spend a lot of time in office. When I'm in office, what I do is that I plan training sessions as required. So if we see a need for training, then we'll sit and we plan those sessions. We also have scheduled training sessions, that's ART, and this is where our cabin crew members come in once a year for current training, and this is to keep them current and competent. I'm happy to let you know that as of April 2015, Fly Jamaica Airways has reported a 94% on-time performance. What that means is that 94% of our flights have either arrived before scheduled arrival time or on time, and that is just fantastic.
Before each flight, flight attendants attend a safety briefing with the lead flight attendant and sometimes the pilot. They go over safety and emergency checklists, the locations and amounts of emergency equipment, and other features specific to that aircraft type.
Hi team, welcome. Today we are operating flight 152 to Guyana, and we have a total of 160 passengers, full flight. You know, we expect excellent service from you guys. Marie Air 4, Lisa 5, 3 and 2. All right, as we say, we get on board, we help boarding the passengers with a smile. Whatever the passengers need, we offer them with courtesy and continue to be in what you're always there to do, an excellent flight attendant in the sky, and we're gonna have a good one. Father, we just thank you for another good day. We thank you, dear God, for our company and Lord God, this wonderful crew. And we thank you, dear God, that we are gonna do excellent today as usual in your holy and precious name, amen.
It's always pleasant to see a crew of flight attendants going through the airport. They're usually very punctual. They must be at the airport, go through the necessary protocols, and on the flight in time to welcome the first passenger.
This is our newly acquired Boeing 767, and this is one of the big ones. We just got it.
Boarding particulars are verified, such as special needs passengers, small children traveling unaccompanied, or VIPs. They also do a safety check to ensure all equipment such as life vests, flashlights, and firefighting equipment are on board in the right quantity and in proper condition.
When we get on board our aircraft, the first thing we do is our security and safety checks to make sure the flight is good. See maintenance on board as well, because this is what we do. Safety is what they do, making sure the aircraft is ready and safe for passengers before they get on board. This is where the food is prepared, checking off the meals and making sure the flight is ready for service. But on the afternoon service, such as this one, you'll have rice and chicken. And before takeoff, there's a safety briefing that we give to passengers, and the briefing must be done, is required to, inform the passengers of the safety needs and what, if should anything happen in an emergency, what they should do. And so our flight attendants do this before takeoff. And so Rajiv now is going to demonstrate for you how to buckle the seatbelt. And so to fasten your seatbelt, you must insert the flat metal tip into the buckle until it clicks. Pull on the belt to tighten it across the hips. To release, lift the top plate off the buckle. If you're traveling with an infant, you must fasten the seatbelt around yourself only and hold the child on your lap facing you. This flight will take us over water. Life jackets are located underneath the seat in front of you, between the seats in the business class cabin. If necessary, remove the life jacket from the pouch by pulling on the tab. Place the jacket over the head. Fasten the rear straps to the front like this and pull to tighten. Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When you leave the aircraft, pull on these tabs to inflate. It can also be inflated by blowing into the tubes on either side. There is a light which can be used to attract attention. Life jackets are carried on board for infants and small children. This 767 aircraft has 4 emergency exits. There are 2 doors on the left and 2 doors on the right-hand side of the aircraft. All doors have slide rafts. There are 4 window exits of the wings which have slides only. If you are seated in rows 1, 3, 15 or 16, please keep these areas clear of all hand luggage for takeoff and again for landing. If there's a lot of electrical power or a smoke-filled cabin, emergency path lighting on the floor will illuminate, red lights and exit signs will highlight the exits. Take a moment now to locate the exit nearest your seat, which may be behind you. Thank you. A lot of people are not aware the serious side of this job, which includes safety training and the fact that we really do more than just serve drinks and food on board.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition, or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
You know, certain things we kind of have a gender issue with it, right? And look, Jamaican-wise, we figure more or less, there are certain things where we want to see females in, right? Tending towards servicing us good.
Persons are supposed to be able to enjoy what they're doing, so if it's to be a career as a flight attendant, then why not?
Yes, I would. I guess it depends on your age. You get to travel the world, you know, you get to see different places, and it's a fun job, even though it's a high risk, but you get rewarded for the high risk.
But I leave that to my sister or some cousin, some woman. That's them type of work there for ladies.
I think it's good. I don't have a problem with it. It's gainful employment, so it's good.
It's not about going on a plane and fly to Timbuktu and come back. It has a risk. The insurance have to be at a certain level where if I fly today and don't make it back tomorrow, my family will be perfectly wealthy.
I'm Lisa Love, flight attendant and trainer of Fly Jamaica Airways. Being a trainer, for me, when I came to Fly Jamaica Airways, it was an opportunity to pass on and mentor the younger
generation coming after me wanting to know what it is like to be a flight attendant, I found this a good opportunity to be the teacher of what my experience was, and so I jumped at it. I think it's important that somebody pass on the knowledge. So many persons think that you can go to school to become a flight attendant. That's not the case. Each airline, such as Fly Jamaica Airways, have to train under their AOC license their own flight attendants. This is why our training is done in-house. Our training takes place, yes, here at our head office. We have a classroom here, which is a regulated classroom because the Civil Aviation Authority regulates all the training done here. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we have our own classroom and our own teachers. And so it takes place here as well as on board the aircraft. And we do some training at the airport. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we stress on safety. And so we actually train our own flight attendants to actually deliver that safety that we expect here at Fly Jamaica Airways.
There are standard requirements in order to become a flight attendant, and with Fly Jamaica Airways, it's no different.
So the prerequisites for the job include 5 CXC subjects, which includes math and English. Spanish is a must. And of course, you must be able to swim. We have routes that we plan to embark on that include Spanish-speaking customers, and so we've decided that it will be one of the prerequisites moving forward. We look for a special young lady or young man, and that would have to entail a pleasant personality, the ability to be able to communicate well with people from diverse backgrounds. Outside of that, you have to be able to sustain the rigorous training, which includes lots of drills, long hours, and be able to maintain and prove to us that you qualify through the series of testing to complete.
Safety training includes, but is not limited to, emergency passenger evacuation management, use of evacuation slides and life rafts, in-flight firefighting, first aid, defibrillation, crew resource management, and security.
This job is diverse. Of course, you will be able to have flexible hours. However, you have to be able to pack and be ready to be in any number of cities at any given time. So you really have to have the ability to be flexible enough to be ready to go at any time. Our training includes safety and service. Emphasis placed on safety, of course, because that is what we stress here at Fly Jamaica Airways. The training is a 7-week intense course, as you can say, which includes safety training as it relates to emergency scenarios on board. And it's serious business. A lot of people are not aware the serious side of this job. And the fact that we really do more than just serve drinks and food on board. We're there for safety. It could be a fire, where we are trained to actually handle and out that fire up there, because you don't have fire stations in the sky, of course not. Also, if a passenger become ill on board, which we've had people with heart attacks, and we are trained and equipped to deal with that up there until we can get to medical services on the ground. One of the drills is evacuation, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but if you should have any kind of emergency on board, we would actually get the plane out of the sky and get those passengers off in seconds to make sure that you preserve life. And the drills test that. So what we do, we put these drills into practices, and these practices will actually test the time and test the skill. So that's what we do. For the swimming, that's exactly what we do. We deploy a proper raft, and we teach the raft training and survival right there on spot. The 7-week training, of course, you have to complete it with a series of testing, and it is a series of exams, almost 14 to 15 exams, which you must pass all in order to qualify you to complete the certification. And from there, you go on to doing onboard training, and you'll go on probation for a 6 months period, and you'll be assessed over that period of time. And after that, and you're confirmed, you still have to do annual training to ensure that the safety aspect of the job is maintained. The 7-week training is free of cost, of course, because it's an internal training done by us. We have 3 trainers here at Fly Jamaica Airways, and we conduct this training ourselves. Our website is fly-jamaica.com, and on it has the career link. You can go in and fill out an application form there, as well as you can drop off your application form here at 2 Holborn Road. That now will allow you to be placed in a data bank. So if we do have openings come up, then we will go to that. Once you've been screened and accepted, the training is what is most important to us. For the training, we'll have a number between 15 to 25 in each class. Because again, it's a regulated training, and for each cabin attendant to have or we train, you have to have a number of trainers there. So for 3 trainers, 15 to 25. We just actually certified 35 brand new flight attendants here at Fly Jamaica Airways last year. And just seeing these new people come in, I've flown with their mommies and daddies maybe in the past. I've taken them as unaccompanied minors in the past, and just to see them become a student wanting to start their career path such as I did, it was rewarding enough for me.
So everybody looks forward to their monetary compensation, but another big perk of being a flight attendant is the free travel for your immediate family. They pay only the government taxes to all of Fly Jamaica Airways destinations.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers. Right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
I am Marie Barrett, Senior Cabin Crew Member at Fly Jamaica Airways. I started flying in 2000, 15 years ago. At 9 years old, I traveled to Disney World in Orlando, and I saw the flight attendants on board. They were beautiful, glamorous, friendly, and that's when I decided I have to become a flight attendant, so I decided to join this profession. After high school, I went away to California to study microbiology, but I still had the love for flying in my head. So I came back to Jamaica, became a travel agent, and use that segue to get into flying. I made contacts at the airport with managers for the airlines. I sent in my application and got a call, so it was quite easy transitioning from being a travel agent to a flight attendant. So I started at Air Jamaica, and when that ended, I saw Fly Jamaica as a perfect opportunity, a second chance to represent another Jamaican carrier. Being a flight attendant does not feel like work, even though it's a challenging job. It does not feel like work, especially when you come to work with a team of flight attendants like the ones we have here at Fly Jamaica Airways. It's fun. That family feel is transferred to the passengers, and it's a very exciting career.
It's always nice to hear about how much one is paid for the service they provide. But even if you don't hear the numbers, wait until you hear the perks of being a flight attendant.
Okay, in terms of compensation, we're paid a base salary in Jamaican, and then depending on the flights you do, you're paid for that hourly in US dollars. So everybody looks forward to their monetary compensation, but another big perk of being a flight attendant is the free travel for your immediate family. They pay only the government taxes to all of Fly Jamaica Airways destinations. You also get the opportunity to go to a hotel when you're at a port, explore museums, shop, visit family you haven't seen, all for free. So if you like to travel, I would suggest considering becoming a flight attendant. It's a wonderful opportunity for someone who loves to meet people, see different cultures. Wonderful opportunity. One of the main challenges would be like on holidays, Christmas Day, for example. You might have to be at a port without family, but then you pull on your crew members and you become a family at that point, and you try to enjoy your Christmas with your family at work. There are some days that we go very long hours, 12-hour workday, 14-hour workday, and this can be challenging. People hear about us, hear about the profession of being a flight attendant, maybe from word of mouth, going to the airport, seeing us walk through the airport, and that's how people are aware of us. And movies, social media sometimes, but not in a traditional sense. We at Fly Jamaica Airways have started going into schools to educate our teenagers or youngsters about the career. We've given talks in different schools, and it's an initiative that we've started. My advice for persons interested in this career is to ensure you have a good support system at home, as the job requires you to travel extensively. Ensure your husbands, your wives understand that you'll be away for a while, but the job is fun, it's interesting, it's exciting, and I encourage you.
You must have a flight attendant once you have a commercial carrier, meaning passengers on board a plane. Once you have a passenger, you must have a flight attendant because we're there for safety. And that's our main reason for being there. Therefore, if an airline such as Fly Jamaica Airways, quickly growing as such we did, as soon as we start increasing our fleet, anytime we buy or purchase or add another aircraft to our fleet, we will definitely be looking to expand our flight attendant body.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women.